See, when you're on shift, you need to work out, am I just a wee bit tired or am I actually fatigued from training, from shifts, from just a long build up of shit? Right troops, welcome back to another video. It is my pull day at the gym, so I'm going to show you my full pull workout today. Sun is shining, it is a glorious Saturday, and Saturday means it is check-in day, so I'm going to go down to the wee room at the pool, get my pictures done, send my check-in over to my coach. Before I go to the gym, I'm going to have my shift worker shake, so I'll show you that just now. Right, so this little 500ml shaker cup, this is the shift worker shake in all of its glory, right? I tell my clients to get this all the time. If you work shifts, this is literally the best thing that you can have. See if you get home after a night shift and you're exhausted, but you put calories, protein, macros, whatever it is you're tracking, right? This, you can just top up. You can make it as specific as you want. This has, I will do another video on this, but this has banana, oats, Nutella, peanut butter, protein, and creatine. Like, what more do you need from a shake? So I'm currently sitting outside the gym and I cannot see this workout far enough. I am extremely tired. I had a pretty crappy sleep last night. I was up super early this morning, but we're going to go in and get it done anyway, right? And this is the difference. See, when you're on shift, you need to work out, am I just a wee bit tired or am I actually fatigued from training, from shifts, from just a long build up of shit that you've been dealing with, right? Because some days you just wake up and you'll feel a bit tired, and it's easy, especially if you're going in for another shift, to go, oh, do you know what, I'll just patch the gym today. Those are the days that matter most, right? Days like today, for me, these are the days that matter most. So I'm going to go in, get my workout done. I'm listening to The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. I've had this audiobook for ages. I've listened to it a couple times before. But it's a good book. You know me, I love self-help stuff, and this is quite a good book. And it means I'm reading another book just now at home, so at least I can listen to this one when I'm driving and be productive. And then when I'm at home, I can read my other one. So I'm kind of getting two books done at once. Life hack. Anyway, I'm just talking too much so that I can delay this workout, so let's go and get it. Right, welcome to this pull workout. So this was the first movement. This is my chest supported row. I was initially doing this as a chest supported dumbbell row, but it did start to sort of impinge a little bit on the shoulder, so I have swapped out to this chest supported row variant. This was 20 kilos for 12 reps. Again, I'm really just trying to get a feel for this movement, control the negative, get my position right as well. Obviously, I'm 6'4". It's very difficult to actually fit on these bits of kit if I stand on the foot plate at the bottom. So we had 20 for 12, we had 17.5 for 15 after this, and then we had 15 for 18 as my last set. So this is something that I'm kind of actually looking forward to progressing. It's very, very similar to my second horizontal row on this training day though, but again, different hand positions, etc. So this felt pretty good, and I do think I will be able to progress this pretty nicely. I think that was maybe the issue of the dumbbells, because the increments again are kind of forced on dumbbells, whereas with this I can add microplates to it as well, so I could literally go from 20 to 21 kilos next week and just make those small progressions as I go through the rest of this training block essentially. The second movement of the day was the close grip lat pull down. Now, I've always been relatively strong at vertical pulling movements like this, but I absolutely detest a close grip pull down. I've always preferred underhand pull downs or wide grip pull downs. Again, because I'm so long and my arms are so long, it's difficult for me to fit inside the bits of kit and keep constant tension on my lats at the top of the movement, because quite often, which happened a couple of times on this movement, the actual plate stops before I get a full stretch at the top, which I really don't like. So this was 3 sets. Again, I had 59 for 7, 59 for 7, and then I had a set of 50 for 10, and they all felt pretty decent, so I do think I'll be able to progress this. Last week though, I was sitting on the floor with handles just to try it, so I'm still again finding my feet with this movement and which kind of variant of this movement I prefer the best for my weirdly long arms, which is very annoying if I'm being honest. when it comes to training. And then obviously we had the third movement, which was the neutral plate loaded row, right? But obviously the one that I have in the gym is this free motion row, which is a really good bit of kit, and I really enjoy it because it has that free motion of the handles as well, essentially. So the handles rotate, which I find just gives me a very natural position, especially at the moment with this kind of dodgy shoulder. My shoulder's actually started to feel, this is the weird thing about injuries, my shoulder has started to feel much better on the pressing movements, which was strangely the one thing that caused it initially, but it started to feel a little bit kind of achy on pulling movements. So I have been getting the massage gun in underneath my kind of armpit into my lat as well after these workouts, which definitely seems to help a wee bit, but I'm very much aware of this on these pulling movements. So again, just trying to keep everything really, really slow and controlled and get a good contraction, because one thing that I struggled with for years was actually growing my back thickness. So if I stand side on in terms of how thick my back looks. But again, it's definitely been coming on, as you'll see at the end of the video, just doing some shameless mirror selfies of the back. But it's definitely been coming up because I used to have a very wide back. I still have quite a wide back, but in terms of the actual thickness of my back, it was pretty shit. And that's because I was going to the gym, lifting really heavy weights. Yeah, I was getting a really good forearm, bicep, and rear delt pump, but I wasn't actually getting any kind of back activation, which again, you will feel different if you can do these movements and begin the movement by almost pulling your shoulder blades together and then thinking about driving your elbows back instead of just bending your arms. So after we done this, we moved on to the rear delt fly, which again is a really good movement. Again, I love these movements. It was feeling a little bit uncomfortable. The first set was 27 for 12. I then moved on to 25.3 for 12 and then 16.3, I think, for 18 reps I managed to take on that one. I think I had 16 programmed and I managed to take 18 pretty good quality reps. So again, this is something I go over with clients all the time. Only track the reps that are actually good quality reps. They're the only ones that should make it onto your logbook. And again, with rear delts, right, if you look at trying to go basically with your hands directly at your sides here, right, that's where you have a lot of mechanical tension on that rear delt. So you can basically stop in that position. You don't really need to move much further back than that, because a lot of times you'll see people doing this and then the weight sort of transfers. They start to kind of push their shoulder blades together behind as if they're almost trying to bring their elbows right together behind their back, which is just unnecessary. And again, you really want to bring to this position and then, like this, control that negative on the way down, right? So I'm going for about 3 seconds on this negative. So again, if we count that, 1, 2, 3, even on these last few reps, you can see my body shaking as we go through it. I did also have rack pulls on this, but my phone memory basically completely fucked up as I was going through this, and it said that my storage was full. So I was doing my rack pulls, ended up sending a video, or ended up deleting a video because I started the video and then ended up deleting it. Now, this cable preacher curl is literally my favourite movement ever, right? I just feel this really, really well. I do enjoy preacher curls at the best of times, but I always worry about tearing my bicep at the bottom of the movement. If you have watched enough gym clips, you will see people tearing their bicep doing this movement. Again, because they kind of hyperextend at the bottom, and there's a lot of load and stretch and tension on the bicep at the bottom of this movement. But the one thing that I like about this is that in this position, there's tension on my biceps because it's very easy. And again, I used to do this as well when I used to try and train past failure and do force negatives. I would almost bring my hand up to that top position. I would move slightly further back in the preacher curl, take all the mechanical tension off of my bicep, and just sit there until I thought I could do another rep or at least control the negative for a few seconds. So I really like this bit of kit because it almost forces me, and again, it's not so much that it forces you, but you're constantly having that bicep under tension, which is the whole point of these movements. That rep was a little bit kind of subpar. I wasn't super happy with that one, but we did manage to control the negative on the way down, and the next rep looked better. So I don't know if I got distracted, I don't know what it was, I don't know what was going through my head at this point, but always just try and keep your thoughts on the exercise, on the movement at hand as you're doing it. Especially when you're in the gym, right? If there's stuff you're worrying about, you can fucking deal with that shit later, right? But you're in the gym to lift, you're in the gym to progress your lifts, and it is something that you should be specifically focused on at the time, instead of thinking about other stuff that's going on, about work or complaints or any of this shit, right? And the baggy t-shirt came off. It's amazing how I look like I just don't go to the gym when I have a baggy t-shirt on. But again, the gym is always freezing, so that's why I usually wear layers and sweatpants, even sometimes hoodies, because the AC is on all the time, which isn't a bad thing, but I just prefer to be hot when I'm training. So obviously I'm still looking very lean. I've still got the shoulder veins popping on this movement, biceps pretty vascular, forearms are pretty vascular. I'm feeling pretty good. This was my second set of incline hammer curls. First set I managed 12 kilos for 10, which was a new progression for myself. And then for the second set I basically dropped back down to 10 kilos for 12. But the form was at this bit here. This was the bit that annoyed me, because I could have probably just locked it in and focused a bit more on the movement. But again, it's the joys of filming yourself like a dick when you're in the gym. But it needs must. So managed to get 12 reps with this. The last few were actually okay, and then obviously we moved on to some physique updates in the bathroom as usual. But just try and control the negatives on these. Try not to move back and forth, and try and get a good stretch at the bottom. Physique's looking okay, chest filling out, lower abs are gone, tan is looking subpar as always, and the back is filling out, which is the main thing, so lots of room to grow as we move forward. So gym is done, thankfully. I am going to go home, I'm going to shower, I'm going to have something to eat, I'm going to go for a swim. Got some flowers for Big Mama, Baby Mama, for Mother's Day. And yeah, pretty successful. I did feel quite tired during that session, but I hit a couple of new numbers actually, which is pretty decent. Decent feedback from my own coach. He's pretty happy with how the physique is looking, and obviously the main goal was just to fill it out over the next few weeks as we push food up. So this will be my first proper good run at this, because the last 3 weeks have been a bit shit and my arm is shaking holding this camera. So yeah, going to do that. I'll show you what I'm having to eat for the rest of the day. So first meal, post-workout, we're having 150 grams of Frosties. I'm going to have 500 ml of protein milk, which gives me 50 grams of protein. What are you having? What are you having, me man? Banana, some grapes. Boys are having a lunch. Swim, swim, swim. Do swim, swim, swim.
Swim, swim, swim.
Swim, swim, swim. Yeah, let's go. So the gym is done, the boys have had their lunch. Dan Dan is on his scooter. We're just heading to the beach. So we're going to spend the wee hour at the beach, going to go for a sea swim if it's not too cold. Then we're going to go home, have our dinner. A football.
Pass to Daddy, Dad. Pass.
For Daddy.
Woo!
Right, Dan Dan, go. Catch. We'll do another one. Ready? Right, catch. 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 Ready? Whoa, almost. Can we say hi? Want to say hi?
Hi.
Dan, you're going the wrong way. You need to turn it. Wow. Whoa, good job, Dan. Woo! So the wee man is in his bed. We had a successful swim, bath time done. He's got these new things that he walks on, and his new punch bag, because he is spoilt rotten. Having steaks for dinner, steak and those waffle fries. But I still don't have a huge amount of calories input, so I basically need to add. Log me out of MyFitnessPal. Anyway, I'll sort that. I'm going to catch up on client messages, log back into MyFitnessPal, log my food. I'm going to need to get quite a lot of food in over the next couple of hours, because it's 20 past 8 in the evening, which is far from ideal. But I'll show you what I'm eating to bring me up to 3,800-ish calories and 220 protein. So this is what I'm having for my dinner. We have 300 grams of fillet steak and some waffle fries. So totals for the day, protein currently sitting at 181 out of 220. Carbs 289 out of 504. Fibre sitting at 17, which is good. And fats are at 65. So total calories, if MyFitnessPal, 2,400 and 25 so far, with 1,416 left after this meal. So it's not ideal because it's 2 minutes past 9 in the evening. Right, so dinner is done. The wee man is sleeping next door. Last 2 protein things for the day. Protein bars. 2 of these fulfill protein bars. And a packet of crisps because, well, fuck it. It's Saturday, innit? Also still within calories. Fiber's still been good for the day. And after this, I still need to have a lot of carbs. So I'm going to show you just easy carb sources, right? And again, yeah, you could argue there's better carb sources, there's more complex carb sources, but this is my favourite carbohydrate source on the planet. If you've ever wondered what 900 grams of grapes looks like, this is it. Just all fucking carbohydrates. Which is delicious. It's better than sitting in your house eating sweets and chips and shit. Obviously, I would have ideally spread my carbohydrates out throughout different carbohydrate options over the course of the day, but I also don't really give a fuck. So, food for the day is pretty much on point. Mainly concern myself with, protein and carbohydrates. So, protein target is 220, today was 227. Carbohydrates, you can see right below that, carb target was 504, we've hit 507, which is the main thing that will be coming up as we go through. My last gaining phase, protein, fats were pretty much similar, and carbs were about 700 grams a day. So yeah, we'll just see how we go on, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow's gym session. Obviously we've had a higher calorie day today because it's my training day, so it was about 3,800 something. Pretty active as well, managed to get out for a good walk, which helps with the digestion side of things. And one of the things, right, top tip, especially if you're at work, right, and you're eating a lot, this is the one thing I used to struggle with because I'd be eating a fuckload of food. I would have literally shit like this in work with me, in my kit bag. I used to bring Weetabix, like just dry Weetabix, and just eat them in the car. I was driving about, bottle of water, just fucking swallow it. So it wasn't ideal, right, but I had goals. I was going to hit those targets. It didn't matter what I had to do. The one thing, which I can't do just now because I have Invisalign, is chewing gum, right? I don't know why, but see when you're in a weight loss phase or a gaining phase, chewing gum is helpful. For me, anyway, so it's worth a try. Especially if you're in a gaining phase, right, and you feel like super full all the time. And if you're bringing your food up, give yourself a couple of weeks to see how your body responds, how your digestion responds to the increased calories as well. Especially depending on the carbohydrate sources that you're getting them from. Like if you're eating a fucking load of like wholemeal bread, wholemeal pasta, you're probably going to end up constipated, like super constipated. So don't sleep on fruit. Fruit is very, very good for getting carbohydrates in as well. Obviously, you don't want to have fucking 900 grams of grapes every single day, right? But we're just hitting numbers today because I'm tired. But yeah, chewing gum is probably one of the best tips that I can give you, because if you're then in a food pursuit or something, like if you can have a meal like this or have something out about, pop a bit of chewing gum in, it just makes you feel hungry again pretty quickly, which is good. And somehow in a weight loss phase it also keeps me feeling full. I don't know why, I think it's just the habit of chewing something. But I have my Invisalign for another 4 months or something. So anyways, I'm going to go and finish this episode of House of Cards. It's quite good. Heard some mixed reviews, so I'm going to go watch that. Scran my kilo of grapes, 900 grams. And then tomorrow I'm going to wake up, do my way in, have my breakfast, play with the wee man, and go to the gym and just do it all over again. If you haven't subscribed already, go and subscribe. Go and subscribe to my channel. Just kidding, I literally don't care, because there's probably like 50 of you that watch this anyway. So good night, and I'll see you in the next one.